With the world racing along at breakneck speed on the road to development, many indigenous communities are left behind in the dust. Often displaced in the name of development, these communities are rarely offered an alternative form of livelihood. We now go to Mongolia, where the local herdsmen have actually benefited from the government's development plans when the return of the vanished Takhi horses spelled a new lease of life for the community.
The Mongolian steppes, almost 2.5 million people live here and as many horses. Here the children learn to ride at the same time as they learn to walk, as they prove at the annual horse races held during Nadam, the country's national festival. Today, Oyunnemekh and her daughter Soltuya are visiting her family. They have traveled 15 kilometers to reach the family yurt or encampment. Oyunnemekh's parents live entirely by their livestock, as do 1/3 of the people of Mongolia. 3 families make up this yurt, sharing the work of caring for the animals. The women do the household jobs and the milking, while the men do the heavier work and guard the livestock. Of all the animals that they keep, it's clearly the horses that they are most attached to.
The horse is absolutely vital to our way of life. Horses are our main form of transport. We use the milk from the mares to drink and to make into cheese. They are everything to us.
During the 13th century, Mongol horsemen and their tough steeds conquered the whole of Asia. These horses, known earlier as Jawalski, disappeared from the steppes in the 1960s. Luckily, a few survived in the zoos, particularly in Ukraine and the Netherlands. In 1994, the government of Mongolia set up a wildlife reserve of some 60,000 hectares in the hills of Hussein Nuru, with the idea of reintroducing this horse, now called the Takhi horse, to the steppes.
With the world developing at the pace that it is, the challenges faced by indigenous people are increasing. The United Nations is currently working with representatives of indigenous peoples and organizations from more than 70 countries, raising issues on behalf of over 300 million people.
To make room for the Takhi horses, 36 families had to move out of the valley, but the move took place with goodwill. Today, life has changed a lot for Oyunnemekh. She now lives in Altan Bulag, a small town of a few hundred people. Having grown up in the open spaces of the steppes, it is like a big city to her. Fortunately, there is a dairy built with the aid of the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, for the benefit of the herdsmen forced to move off the wildlife sanctuary land. Oyunnemekh brings the milk from her 10 cows here every day. The staff at the dairy have received special training in cheese making. Utilizing this, they have made a name for the Mongolian Gouda cheese that they produce, which has been termed more Dutch than Dutch. The cheese-making plant is only the beginning. There are plans to build a yogurt production plant, also with the help of UNDP. In her own way, Oyunnemekh is acting as a scout for her family. She lives in the town at her family's behest, sent there by her father, uncles and brothers to see if they could count on the dairy for some extra income. The answer is a definite yes.
The move has improved our standard of living. Today, we can sell our milk to the new dairy, and at the end of the year, we divide up the income we have earned among the various family members.
There is a saying that a Mongolian without a horse is like a bird without wings. But here the Takhi horse, which seemed on the point of disappearing, has truly given wings to Oyunnemekh's family.